January, my old friend. We do this every time January, don't we? What's going on, guys? This is Joshua, aka Future Presmyk, doing our first reviews where I talk movies, TV, and music. And if you guys are new to this channel, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like this video, comment down below what you think of the movie I will be talking about. Share your thoughts on this movie as well below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when news videos are up, when I go live, or when I do post my community tab. Otherwise, you will not be getting notifications to any one of those things. And with that being said, we are gonna start off 2020. We have our first bad movie of the year with Run, Hide, and Fight. This is written and directed by Rankin and stars Isabel May, Thomas Jane, Radha Mitchell, and Eli Brown and Treat Williams. And in this movie, 17-year-old Zoe Hull uses her wits, survival skills, and compassion to fight for her life and those of her fellow classmates against a group of live streaming school shooters. That is all I'm going to tell you, because you do not need to see this movie, because if you could tell by the way I opened up this review, this is the worst film of 2020 this far. I hated nearly everything about Run, Hide, and Fight. This is basically this year's answer to Songbird from last year. Where that movie was made about a pandemic, this movie is made about a school shooting. There are two redeeming qualities I have here. One, the acting is fine. I think the performances, from what they are given, I think they do the best they can for what is given. Thomas Jane, great actor, very underrated. He was actually good as the dad. And also, Radha Mitchell was pretty good as the mother of our main character, played by Isabel May, who I haven't seen much of, but from what I heard, she was in Alexa and Katie on Netflix, which I don't watch the show, but one of my sisters do. But Isabel May, I do want to see what she does next. Hopefully something better than this, but I will say that the performances in this movie are fine. Also, the cinematography at times throughout this movie is very well shot. It's a very well, technically wise, it's very well shot in terms of its camera work, the camera trickery that is used. And also, I can say that the music and the production design is also fine, and the costume design is also pretty fine. Everything else, however, shadows these small little positives that I have, because let's just get into the big problem I have with Run, Hide, and Fight, and that's the fact that this movie is basically taking place during a school shooting. There is a way that you can make a movie like this and make it effective. But in this movie's case, in which involves, you're basically having a movie about school shooting, which is one of the most traumatizing, the most devastating, the most emotional, the most mentally and physically fucked up things ever. This school shooting, because people can easily lose their lives. Teachers, principals, classmates, students, you name it. And the fact that this is you turn a school shooting, which should be a very sad thing, into an action movie, is beyond ridiculous, and is not the case here. Let's just go and say the direction and the writing in this movie, I can tell that the filmmakers, they tried, but it was not a fan of this whole idea. The execution is little to non-existent with the direction. The movie feels heavily directionless. Now, I get with the director, I'm not sure if this was his first movie, but if it is, then you can do better than this. But I'm not sure, but I'm not going to be too hard on the director in case this was, but it's just the directing wasn't really there. Because the execution of this idea and the execution of this plot, aside from a couple of flashbacks with her family and learning to use a gun, everything else in the direction is not very good here. It's not very consistent. It's not very subtle here. Also, and that doesn't help that the writing of these characters is little to non-existent. None of the characters you actually really get to care for in this movie. The characters and the narrative here is very non-existent. The characters in this movie are as bland as a junkyard dog on the weekends. Now, the characters they have little to no development. The only development that you will get is from the main character herself, a little bit from her family, and from a few people here in the classmates. And also, I think this whole idea of a school movie about school shooting being an action movie is very offensive and very not out there. I tell you, trying to have fun and make fun of this, but school shootings is just not to be made fun of. Nor is suicide, and nor is toxic and abusive relationships. But the thing here with this movie is that the writing and the narrative for these characters and the narrative is pretty bad here. I don't really understand what the full intention was. I don't fully understand what was going through the minds of the filmmakers when they decided to make this into an action movie. Also, the action in this movie is pretty bad. The action in this movie is just choppy, quick shots, quick cutaways, quick editing, shaky cam all over the place. Basically, I found, and also it feels like you're playing a video game on the Xbox 360, and you have to press the green button and press the yellow button for every single time something like this it happens, where they stop and they hide in a specific location, and I'm like, the action is incompetent. Not even the score and the editing is great. And usually I would give, for bad movies, I would easily give the score some kind of credibility. And the score in this movie, the music is pretty forgettable here. And that is unfortunate too, because I was willing to say that the score was fine here. Big thing that really does hurt this movie is the fact that you once again, like I said, the fact that this is an action film is bad enough, because this movie is inherently political, and we see jocks, basically white high school varsity jocks, saying stay woke, and they basically run a black kid off the road. Shooters burst into the school with trigger warnings, and there is even a scene in this movie where they barricade themselves and someone says it's not that hard to build a wall. I'm not kidding you, these are the scenes in this movie. I am not kidding you. It's just very insensitive. Like, it's very insensitive. I don't understand what they were trying to do here. I get it. You want to do something different. I understand. But when you have to basically make fun of something that's not made to be fun with in the worst ways possible, no. Just no. In the end, guys, run, fight, and hide. This is easily the worst film of the year of 2020 so far, and we're only in January. And January is always usually the cream of the crop Luckily, you do have One Night in Miami, and you have Shadow in the Cloud, which Shadow in the Cloud was a decent, fun B movie, and also Pieces of a Woman was also really great, and I will review those. But at the same time, not Pieces of a Woman, I already said Pieces of a Woman. At the same time, Run, Hide, and Fight, this is so far the worst movie of 2021. From the direction is non-existent, the characters are non-existent, the writing and the narrative, nothing works about this movie from the action standpoint, the narrative, the score is pretty forgettable, the characters and the story is low to non-existent, it's very insensitive, very unrealistic, and it does take a very political approach, which I'm basically sick to death of these movies doing. It should only be done if it has the right to be political, like Trial Chicago 7 did. The only redeeming qualities this movie may have, like I said, is the cinematography is fine, the production design is fine, and there's a few moments in the flashbacks I like, and the actors are doing their best with what they could. Other than that, this is a movie I just do not recommend. So, with that being said, I'm gonna give Run, Hide, and Fight a skip you out of 5 of a D-. Only because the actors are doing their best and the cinematography is fine. Other than that, just don't waste your time on this. It will be a waste of your hour and 30 something minutes. And it will be a waste of your money or for VOD. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle? All my social media links are in the description box down below. Through the link tree, my Amazon wish list is in the description box down below if you guys want to send anything from that wish list. Also, if you want to send money to my channel or you want to send fan mails, you can DM me or email me privately as well. Also, check out my merchandise store in the description box down below because there will be some new designs coming soon. And otherwise, you guys keep it cool and join the Epictasticness.